What's up, everybody? This is Lil Nikki Duncan Smith, and I am here with Miss Shooney the rapper. That's right, Shooney the rapper. You know, you've seen her mostly on our list as one of the most fire MCs, not just female MCs around. What's up, Shooney? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we've been trying to do this for years, probably.
I know.
I've been a fan of yours since I only saw you on Queen of the Ring. What I love most is that you're a girl's girl, but you are a woman's woman, if that makes sense.
Thank you. That does. And I love that. Oh, that was my first time hearing that. That's dope. Thank you.
I mean, it's true. It's true. You can kick it with the girls, but you're not about a bunch of phoniness. And I've seen you kind of navigate the very dirty battle rap waters, being strong in who you are, but not being super petty and looking wild out there. So
Right. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you got to stay true to who you are. And if something goes against what you believe in, you got to speak on it, you know what I mean, respectfully. And people either got to be with it or not. You know what I mean?
is that kind of like what you were raised? Talk to me a little bit about your background and where you were raised and some of the influences that created you as not just an MC, but as a person, because I think they intermarry really well.
Right. So I am from, well, I grew up in both parts, but when I was young, we lived in Mount Vernon, and then people know that my dad, he just got released out of jail like 2 years ago, so he was locked up for like 35 years. The feds took our home when we lived in Mount Vernon originally when I was born. So then we ended up moving to the Bronx, and then I moved back to Mount Vernon when I was 10. But so most of my life was spent in Mount Vernon, off and on in the Bronx and stuff. But I have an older brother. Well, really, I have three older brothers and three older sisters. I'm the baby of seven, and my sister Jackie and I are 2 years apart. My brother Peter is 5 years older than me. So Peter was like heavy into hip hop. And I was a young girl listening to things that I could hear outside his door. If he would turn it up a little bit, if Mixtapes was playing, on the radio, you had to get your little tape cassette to record things. So that's really the first time like I started to hear hip hop was through my older brother Pete, who ironically is a DJ now. DJ Pete Monsanto is my older brother. So he's pretty popular in the industry itself. But that was the first time I heard hip hop, and that kind of is what molded me into like who I am. And then growing up, with just my mom and my siblings and living in Mount Vernon, the tough neighborhood. And, you guys always know I rep Murderville. Not of the most friendly name, but that's what they called our hood, and that kind of influenced what I was into. And then it wasn't until I went to college that I realized that I wanted to be a rapper myself. I knew I always loved hip hop, and I used to do fashion design in college. And then when I started going to Westchester Community College, they had an on-air studio, and I just happened to stumble in there, and I'm like, what is this? And I realized, they had a radio station, and I always loved Angie Martinez, and I wanted to be kind of like that, like a DJ, VJ type of thing. And so I started doing radio and TV. And then in college, I had a show called I Dream of Shooney, and it did really, really well on the campus. And I started hosting different little things that they would do during the week, and the poetry slams and stuff like that. So I kind of was still interested, but I still didn't know that I wanted to rap, right? I knew I loved hip hop. I knew I loved everything about it. Hold on one second. I'm getting a call.
She gonna be back.
Okay, there we go.
So you were talking about growing up in Mount Vernon and in the Bronx, and how popular you became on your campus.
Right. So on the campus, I started doing all these shows and hosting and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. And I kind of got like a pretty popular. So they're like, oh, Shooney this, Shooney that, or whatever the case may be. So besides the on-air studio, they had a recording studio on the other side. And obviously me being popular, I knew some of the guys that were rapping and stuff like that. I knew some of the girls that were in there. So one day I just walk in and this guy, Ray Peso, he's like, can you do a hook for me? And I'm like, okay, I guess. And he's like, I'll write it. It's simple. All you got to do is say this. So I'm like, all right. But I wasn't too fond of him writing it, but I'm like, I ain't no rapper, but I'm going to do it. So I did it. A couple of days go by, the song blows up. Everybody's talking about it. They're like, your voice sounds so good. So
What's the
now
name
I'm a
of the
little
song?
gassed in my head.
What's the name of the song?
You on your grind. You're on your grind. And so all I really said was, you on your grind, nigga stack. And I just kept saying that, right? So he repeated the hook, looped it, whatever. Sounds super cute. So then fast forward a couple days, I come back, the song done blew up or whatever. So now they're writing something else. And I'm like, I'm on this song. And they was like, you gonna rap for real? And I was like, yeah, I'm a rap. And they like, well, let me write it. I'm like, no, I'm writing my own rap. So I sit down and I start writing, it's your girl Shooney, and everybody wanna do me because my booty, something about my booty. I got more class than Shooney. Like, it was so regular, right? But they loved it. And I'm like, oh my God. So I do the song that starts to blow up. I bring the song back and I had gotten it on my iPod. I'm aging myself, but I got it on the iPod and I let my sister hear it. My sister's like, this is you? I'm like, yeah. She's like, this is good. So I'm like, I think I want to be a rapper. So at the time, her boyfriend, who ended up being my manager, Jay Loyal, he's like, all right, if you serious, I want you to freestyle from Manhattan to Mount Vernon. If you do that, I will pay for everything for the project. So, you know, back in the day when I was rapping, you had to pay for the studio time, you had to pay for the CDs, you had to pay to burn the CDs, you had to pay for the inserts in the CDs, you had to pay to take the picture that was on there. So it was a lot that was involved in, you know what I mean? Being your own independent rapper. So I'm like, I bet. I do the freestyle all the way there. It wasn't that great, but I realized I could freestyle. They realized I was serious. So Jay Lawyer was like, I got it. From there, we recorded a whole mixtape, and we got some beats from Vinny Idol. We got some beats from Mussolini, and I had I think it was about 14 songs on there, and I just jacked people's beats pretty much, and then used those original beats that I got from Mussolini and Vinny Idol, and it was called "The Making of a Paper Girl." And I put it out in Miami, ironically, Memorial Day weekend. You know how busy Miami is Memorial Day weekend, so I went there. This was probably about 2006, I believe, and I had to rap on every corner because people are like, no way you're a rapper. And it was free. I'm trying to give it away and they didn't want to take my free CD until I started rapping and they're like, all right, I'm gonna take it. So I'm going from corner to corner just rapping and I'm like, this is what I want to do. And then I just began to do the hustle, you know, doing all types of showcases in New York City and really putting in the groundwork to be that independent underground artist. And you know, it really got my name to start buzzing and it was a really good experience. And then I got into a girl group with one of my best friends at the time, Kay Nicole. She is the daughter of Jojo Brim. And
One of my good
so
friends.
her and I,
One of my
yeah,
really
so
good
her and
friends.
I, yeah, he's a dope guy, very, very dope guy. So her and I were in a group called K&S. And at the time, there wasn't really many girl groups. All you seen was Salt and Pepper, right?
Wait, wait.
Yes.
He shared y'all with me. He let me hear y'all stuff.
Listen, I believe it because at the time, so it's crazy, Nick. At the
Like I
time,
know
right?
James, Jimmy Manus, like I know all of them. Like,
Yes.
yes.
So at the time, JoJo's like, listen, yeah, if y'all serious, we gonna do this, right? So he tells us we're on this super strict schedule. All we can do is go to school and we go practice. Go to school and go practice. So now I'm a little bit older than Kelsey, right? So I'm probably like 4, maybe 5 years older than Kelsey. I don't look it, but she's still a young girl, right? So he's doing everything for us. We had did the song "Warming Up," right, on the Big Daddy Kane beat. I don't know if you remember, but that was the song that he was pushing for us. He got the treatment ready for the video. He got Big Daddy Kane to sign off on using the beat, everything, right? So here goes Miami coming back to haunt me. Kelsey gets a ticket, a one-way ticket to Miami, and decides she's not listening to him anymore. She doesn't want to just do the music. She doesn't want to just do the rehearsing, nothing. She just gets up and leaves, right? So he's like, if I can't do this, and he put us in so many showcases, had us recording in Quad Studio. Let me tell you, he did us right, okay? We were this close to signing the Warner Brothers. And when she wouldn't
Shout out to
listen to
Leor.
him, right, when she wouldn't listen to him, he was like, if this is the beginning and she's not listening, I don't know if I could put my faith in y'all. And I was heartbroken. I was like, what? And he just literally just boom, snatched the rug from underneath us, which looking back, I'm like, it was the right thing to do if she's not really gonna take it serious at the moment. And thank God she's, she's taking things serious now. She's trying to get back into the music and stuff years later, which is great because she's a phenomenal artist. I think all his kids are super talented, but she's getting back into it now. But at the time I was like, oh my goodness, like we were this close. I could taste the stardom. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm recording in a studio that Mariah Carey recorded in, Biggie, Tupac, everybody was, you know what I mean? So it was an amazing time, but then at the same time, all of that, that close, and it got, stripped away. So I don't want to say jaded, but it kind of scared me. It kind of pulls me back from the industry a little bit. And so around 2009-ish going into 2010, I got pregnant with my first daughter. And
wait, before we get there.
Mm-hmm.
So you grew up in the Bronx and you grew up in Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
And while you don't want to date yourself, I would say you're in the mid-30s, maybe.
Right now, yes.
Right.
Well, upper 30s. Okay. I'm about to be 38.
Shout out to 38.
Yeah.
I'm about to be 50.
Shout out to me.
I'm about to be 50
You
this
look
year.
great.
But
you
this
look
is
amazing.
the thing. Thank you, my love. I love you. You grew up in the development of hip hop. So as we celebrate the 50th anniversary, I can tell you, when you was a little kid, there was some real hip hop as a baby, like pulsating out of the speakers in the street.
Absolutely.
You have hip hop in your DNA, because even though Mount Vernon is really the Bronx, like it's
right
there.
It's
right?
very, very close. Yeah.
But then you
very
got
close.
Puff, you got Hev, you got
Heavy D, yeah.
Funny Earning Mount
Pete
Vernon.
Rock, yeah. It's CL Smooth, all of these, you know what I mean? It's so many people. A lot of people don't know Ludacris grew up partially in Mount Vernon as well. Like there's so much in the roots there of people that, you know what I mean, that are involved in hip hop. So, it just goes back to speak, like that's how it felt, wearing the baggy jeans and the, you know what I mean? And I used to see Heavy D all the time in Mount Vernon, and he always used to pinch my cheeks. And to this day, I still hate when people pinch my cheeks, but he used to pinch my cheeks every time he see me. So, we were around certain things. And then like my first hip hop song that really made me fall in love with hip hop was Keith Murray, Most Beautiful Thing in the World. That was like one of the first things I heard coming through my brother's wall. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And then after that, it was Wu-Tang. And I just was like, I don't know which one came first, but I know I became infatuated with Wu-Tang. Like if anybody asked me where I was from back in the day when I was growing up, I would be like Shaolin. Like I swear to God, I used to think like I was a part of them. So watching this show now, I go crazy watching the Wu-Tang show on Hulu. I just love it, right? So getting back into everything with hip hop, right? So now I'm having my first child, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna have to take a step back, and that sat me down. You're pregnant for, they say 9 months, but it's really like 10 months because it's 40 weeks, and I think when you do the math, you know what I'm saying, it's 10 months, right? So I'm sitting out. I'm not doing anything. I'm not buzzing anymore. And the way hip hop was before, we didn't really have the internet just yet. So if you're not outside, you're not outside. You know what I mean? There's nothing for you to keep yourself going. Now, if I were to sit out and say, okay, I want to have another baby, I could just sit behind the computer and you would never know that I'm not outside. You know what I mean? I can post music, I can post videos, I can do whatever to keep myself relevant. But back then, if you're not there, you're not there. And they don't speak of you. You know what I mean? So if you're not outside every Sunday at end of the week, you're not going to Santos, you're not going to, Avenue A, you're not on Houston, it's nothing to be said about you. So now I have to sit out for the 10 months that I'm pregnant. Then I gotta, nurse the child and everything. So it really took some time off for me. So during the time that I was pregnant, I was on Twitter, and I was friends with DNA. I'm not sure how I became friends with DNA, but very popular battle rapper. But he sent me a battle, and it was DNA himself versus Roan. And back in the day, when you kind of watching anything on YouTube, that's pretty much what you had. Um, it would give you another link to something, and it will show you this, and it will show you that. So I started to look at those things, right? So I'm like, oh, there is a way to kind of be outside when you're not outside. YouTube. I wasn't really up on YouTube too much, right? I had a couple of videos up there, but it still wasn't the same as performing at these showcases and really getting these execs to see you, right? But I figured out, okay, maybe I can see what this is. So now I start to get interested in battle rap, and I start tapping in with what's going on that side of the culture. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. I didn't never really see that people were like filming the actual battles with no beat and just kind of going at each other. So I'm like, oh, this is fire. So now at the same time that I'm getting acclimated with battle rap, I keep getting this same message on Twitter, like, hey, you should battle rap. And I think it's because my name was Shooney the Rapper on Twitter, right? So they keep asking me to battle. And I'm like, why does this person keep asking me to battle? I don't want to battle. Like, I'm just not really interested in it for me. Like, I like it. But so lo and behold, it ends up being Debo from Queen of the Ring who's sending me these messages.
That's funny because I thought it was I think he told me MySpace.
No, it was Twitter, but I did have a MySpace. That's how I got my name, was MySpace. Because my name was really just supposed to be Shooney, but then for MySpace, I had two pages, and everybody's like, why do you have two pages? And so on the top of the screen, the actual URL says Shooney the Rapper page, but people didn't see the word page, so they just thought my name was Shooney the Rapper. So I kept it. And it was only, I think at the time, it was only Jazz the Rapper and Audrey the Rapper. And they were THA. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be DA. And I changed mine because it used to be THE. And I changed mine to DA. I'm like, yeah, this will change them. This is a whole different name. DA, THA, THE. That's different, right? Um, so I'm on Twitter. He's sending me all of these messages, whatever the case may be. And then I get invited to my first battle, which was I forget who DNA battled that day. It's crazy, but it was the URL battle. It was in the city, and Hitman and Arsenal were battling that day. So everybody was outside, right? So at this time, I had just finally seen that girls battle rap. So I had discovered Gaddis, I seen QB, and I think I seen one battle that E Hart did, and a few people on the stage, like Norma Bates was up there, Sarah Connor was up there. So just seeing some of them when I got to the event, I was like, oh, that's this girl, that's this girl, that's So I'm like, okay, so girls do this. So now it's tingling in the back of my mind, like, maybe I can, right? So I talked to my manager. I'm like, listen, we got to do something. I've been sitting out for almost a year and a half. I think I want to try battle rap. I think it'll be a quick way to, get my name back buzzing. And, it's, some of these videos have thousands of views on YouTube or whatever the case may be. And my manager was like, I don't know. Debo still contacted me. I'm like, listen, he asked me to battle this girl, Norma Bates. I don't know much about her, but I want to do it. And he's like, okay, you can only do one battle. And I'm like, I promise. Only one. Pinky promise. Only one. So I go ahead. I tell Debo I need $200. He's like, well, you're new. We don't pay people. I'm like, listen, you found me. I need $200. I need my hair done. I need my nails done. And he's like, oh man, don't tell nobody. And I'm not supposed to tell nobody, but I'm telling people. But I'm like, listen, you have to, you know what I'm saying? So he came up with the $200. I think I was one of the only girls that had a manager at the time as well. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna give you the $200, whatever the case may be. So I go ahead, I battle Norma Bates. After that battle, people were coming up to me in the street. You're Shooney. Oh my God, you're Shooney the Rapper. And it was like instant. And I wasn't expecting to have instant gratification from the battle, but I knew it was going to give me the buzz that I wanted. But I mean, as soon as they dropped the battle on YouTube, people were coming up to me. Like, I couldn't go damn near anywhere without somebody saying, I know you, aren't you? And I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm turning to my manager like, yo, I don't know. that never happened before. You know what I mean? I'm like, we was doing all of this stuff. We were going and, we going from studio to studio. We putting out music. We trying to get a buzz. This is the buzz. And I think this is the wave. And he's like, nah, I really don't think you should do it. And I'm like, all right, I'd take a couple of months and I'm like, I'm going to do it again. But I'm going to make sure that it's, really worth it. So then, they gave me another battle. And again, it was like that. And I was like, nah, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know about the industry anymore. I'm getting paid from the battles. They even pay you to travel and everything. So I just started to kind of just only want to do battle rap after that. And I was like, it just felt like home. You know what I mean? It's the community is like-minded people. I can go to these battles and I can talk to people that I don't know, and we're both cheering for the same thing. We're laughing, we're joking. You know what I mean? I met a lot of my best friends. I met my husband through battle rap. Like, it just felt like that's where I was supposed to be, and that's kind of what carried me these last 12 years. I still make music here and there, but it's just for fun when I do it. Would I mind if somebody come knocking on my door to sign me? No. But
let's talk about, because what I like is that while you are a public person, you seem to be very private. But you do share with your family. Hold on for a second. Lord, hold on.
Now they want to come.
So while you are a public person, you seem to be very private, but you do share sometimes. You do share sometimes your family. You share your mom, your dad. Your mom's hilarious.
Yes.
Your pranks.
Thank
You're
you.
such a prankster.
Yeah.
You and your husband have such a great chemistry, and y'all have fun. Battle rap is such a mean space. How do you keep that joy? Because it's a joy that
It
you.
is. That's a fact. I let them know that they can't weaponize that. You know what I mean? You can't use something that brings me joy against me. What are you gonna rap and say? Oh, you have a mom? Yeah, I have a mom. Like, what are you gonna say? Oh, you're married? Yeah, I'm married. Yes, I love my. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, and I know that when I do share that, it brings other people happiness. Like, I get so many messages about my mother, like, oh, she reminds me of my granny. She reminds me of my mom. She reminds me of my aunt that passed. So I know that me sharing what brings me joy brings other people joy. So I never let anybody that's around me steal that from me or the people that I'm sharing it with, because a lot of the times me making these videos are inspiration to other people. Even when I first started battling, I got so many messages like, oh, you have such great confidence for a big girl. And I didn't really think that I was big. But then I'm looking and I'm like, you know what? When you think about the model size and what they say is pretty, I'm not that. You know what I mean? I'm not that size. I'm not that height. I'm not any of that. So when I step up and I'm in all of my wonderful aura that I like to give, my colorful brightness, I've got a bowl head, you know what I mean? Like very low haircut, high cheekbones. I'm able to give somebody that looks like me confidence. I'm able to give somebody that experience. So that's why I share my experiences. That's why I share my family. That's why I share those things, because it does motivate people. And it motivates me when they tell me, you know what I mean, how great I am. There we go.
So, how did your mom get so funny?
She's been that way all my life. I don't know. And I honestly think it's something that's passed on to all of us, because if you are around any one of us at any given time, down to the kids, everybody is just naturally hilarious. And I think that's what kind of draws people into our family as well. But my mother, she's just, I don't know, when she's on, she's on. And she's not even trying to be anything that she's not. So I can just turn the camera on and something crazy is gonna come out her mouth. Something funny. Like, she's always been that way. Even my slogan comes from my mother, and everybody's like, you always calling somebody a black bee. And I'm like, that's what my mother used to call us. If we were coming in the house and we did something wrong, shut the door, you black. And I'm just like, okay. And you know what I mean? Really doesn't have anything to do with skin complexion when I first started saying it. And then I used it kind of like a tool of, I think everyone comes from being Black, and everyone is one. You know what I mean? I've said it to Hispanic, Mexican, Puerto Rican, white girls, Black girls, tall girls, short girls. You know what I mean? I've said it to men. Like it's something now that I use where I'm just like, we all Black, so you gonna get this work.
And that's the
So,
cool thing about, like, you use humor really well in your rhymes, in your battles.
thank you.
You and Farrah, I was like, once I said that Farrah should probably do stand up. Like, if she ever
No,
wants.
she's hilarious. Yeah, she's really funny. But I think you say I'm private. Farrah's more closed in. And I just think it's the Aries in her. That she's just like, you know, if she don't really know you, she's not gonna open up. But once people get to know her, it's like she's like one of the sweetest people, and she's super super funny. Always got me in stitches. Always.
What's your sign?
Cancer.
Oh, you're Cancer.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer. I
Sensitive.
am. Yeah.
Sensitive.
Yes. Super sensitive.
But
Like,
we'll get you.
and I'm
We'll
so
get you.
sensitive. Yeah. I'm so sensitive that that's what makes me rah, because I'm on guard because I know my feelings get hurt like this. So I always feel like, before you get me, I'm gonna get you. So I bite before I assess the situation. I've learned that about myself, and I'm trying to scale that back. One of my best friends the other day told me, "Oh, you are so mature now. You are so different," because I responded to a text message in a group chat, and everybody's looking like, it's almost like as soon as we got the text message, I felt like everybody was like looking at me to wait for my response. So when I responded in such a nice way, they started a whole nother group chat to be like, "Oh my God, Shooney, you are so good." They're like, "Because normally you want to fight." I'm like, "Oh, don't get it twisted. I definitely want to fight, but I'm working on myself. I'm working on me."
I like it.
So
I
I
like
figured out
it.
a way.
But you can see,
Thank you.
I remember what I like is the camaraderie between you and Farrah and some of the other female
Mm.
battle rappers. Because there was a time when it seemed like the girls did not get along, but then all of a
Oh,
sudden, when you guys, what do y'all call it, a Fab Five?
yes. Mm-hmm.
And then it just seemed like y'all embraced the younger, like the generation under y'all, like the Tia
Mm-hmm.
S's, the Torches, and all of
Yeah,
that.
for
And
sure. For sure.
I remember, I guess it was a Misfit battle,
Mm-hmm.
how y'all was standing in back of Farrah, and y'all was just like,
Yep.
that was
Yeah,
the
I
most
mean,
hilarious thing in the world, that y'all would not look at her, y'all would not laugh. It was
nothing.
like y'all all.
We didn't. No, no. We're unamused right now. Not you talking to her like that. You know what I'm saying? But I've always embraced the younger girls, the ones that are, and not even younger, but the newer generation of the battle rappers, the female rappers. Like I follow a ton of rappers, female rappers on my Instagrams, my Facebooks, my Twitters, or whatever, because I love to see it. And then like when it comes to the newer generation of battle rap, I can't do it forever. I just told you I'm about to be 38, right? I mean, I could do it forever, but who wants to, right? So I need
When you are
somebody to
you, when
carry
you
the
are you,
torch.
when you are
Right.
you, don't none of that retirement, nothing. When
That's
you
true.
are
Yeah.
you can be like Missy Elliott and just
That's
drop
a fact.
when you want to. Latifah,
Yeah.
literally,
Right. Mm-hmm.
you guys are the salt and peppers of this genre. This
Right. And that's how I feel. And I'm like, so we need to kind of embrace it. We need to pull them in. We need to show them, listen, I tried that. And the way that you're doing things, it don't work like that. You know what I mean? And when we started, there wasn't much of a blueprint, right? Like I said, when I first started battle rapping, you could watch a couple of videos of Gaddis, you could watch a couple of videos of Sarah Connor, but that was it. You know what I mean? Like QB and stuff like that. It wasn't that much. So when Queen of the Ring popped up, and it ended up being the first female battle rap league, we set the tone. we set the pavement that the new girls are walking on, right? This is how you do it. Okay, this is how you rap. This is how you move. This is how you look. This is how you carry yourself, right? You have to create a name that stands out, a name that people can Google and only you're gonna come up, right? So those certain little nuances is kind of what created the new girls. So I always wanted to be that person where it's like, if you're new, I'm going to reach out to you. What do you need? What are you struggling with? Do you know what I mean? You want me to hear something or whatever the case may be? There's tons of new girls that I used to reach out to, and they weren't receptive at first. There were a few, um, and then they
But
kind
you
of,
know
oh, I
why,
want to do
right?
it my
You know
own way.
why?
Yeah,
We're told that it can only be one. And what you guys
absolutely.
proved is that it could be we could all be here and thrive.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys
Absolutely.
changed a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to
Yep.
Debo and Babs and Veganum. But it
Mm-hmm.
really is the way that you guys, when you guys linked together, and when Debo quit battle rap.
Yes, that was one of the first things, right? That we all came together and it's like, no, share these experiences, send these videos. We have people from all over coming together to show, nah, we need you, just like you need us. Get back over here. You know what I mean? All right, you mad, take a breather, take a break, but you ain't going nowhere. Like, relax yourself. You know what I mean? So I think that was probably the first time that we were able to organize and get all the girls on the same page. And that was a big moment for battle rap.
So you're a union, you're a union creator.
Rap, right? There I
Rap,
am.
right?
I work for the union of battle rap, right? So that was a big moment too that hopefully doesn't get swept under the rug or doesn't get passed up when we speak about the history. Like it almost was disbanded, and it's like, oh no, wait a minute, what do we need to do? Okay, if the money ain't flowing, we ain't getting the sponsors like we need to. Some of us will take a pay cut. We'll do whatever needs to be done because this helps everybody. You know what I mean? So
I
that was
think
a
that
big
you're
thing.
right. It can't be swept under the rug. When people talk about moments, important
Yeah.
moments in female battle rap,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be one, because you got, and you and Farrah was the leads of that,
Yeah.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Jazz had been,
Absolutely.
started rocking with Norbs and was kind of over a URL kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and there were people just
Yep.
like, all right, well, that ain't my problem. But you guys really
Mm-hmm.
saved Queen of the Ring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We knew it was important to the culture, and we knew it was important to us and important to the people, like I said, that come behind us. There's girls that have been, oh, I've been listening to you since I was 8 years old. They're 20 now. Imagine if they decide that they want to be a rapper. We were the ones that influenced them, just like we could look back and say, okay, Queen Latifah, MC Light, Lauryn Hill, those names influenced me, Little Kim, Foxy Brown, and stuff. Like, we have a whole group of females that are coming up, and they're like, y'all influenced us. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
another influence that you had. Battle
Mm-hmm.
rap was the tomboy for girls. Like
It was.
I remember you came in there with your cute little dress on, and
Yeah, yeah.
you
Let's get
showed them. You showed
feminine.
them feminine.
Yeah, let's get feminine. Exactly, because like I said, coming up, of course, I love Foxy. Foxy was more of the boyish side. She did, doll herself up after a while, but Kim came in just like, nah, I'm wearing this panty and bra right here, and I'm a rap and I'm a rap my ass off. You understand what I'm saying? And she showed us, okay, I don't gotta do this. I don't have to look like that. I can look like this, and I can still rap and hang with you know what I mean? So once that happened, I just was like, if that's your style, cool, nothing against it, but you don't have to be that way to be perceived as a hard rapper. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, I'm a girly girl,
And
but
we
I'm a
know there's a
rap.
girl in the hood that is so cute, but she'll stick you up in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but I'm a rap, and I'm gonna talk my shit, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna show them this is Queen of the Ring. We're not from King of the Ring. Like, we're females, and they want to see us and all that we have to give with our feminine ways. Smelling good, looking good. Like, let's put it on.
The double back to when you were saying your first rhyme that you wrote, that it was like you was like, it wasn't really all of that.
Yeah, right.
I'm a music critic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've critiqued albums, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody, right? Nas, Jay-Z. I've got flown out to listen to music, right? One of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I believe is that lyricism is not all that makes a great rapper.
For sure.
Sometimes something can be really simple See, the
Yep,
little
for
miracles,
sure.
you like whatever. But sometimes somebody can say
Yeah.
the cat on in the hat is fat.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
the way that
And I
they like.
think it was how I was rapping that kind of made it, you know what I mean? But I kind of felt like when I first started, I had to say my name in every song. And then, shout out to the people that helped me, like Stilleon, Greg Sells, Ray Peso. You know what I'm saying? It was a few people, and forgive me if I'm missing anybody's names, but when I first was coming up, just starting to rap at the college, and Kelsey, she was more into it too than I really was at first. It was like, nah, this is how you count bars, this is how you write a 16. I knew certain things, but I didn't know how to really structure. And I always felt like, yo, when you rap, you gotta say your name. So I used to start every rap with, yo, what's Shooney? And then they was like, you don't gotta do that.
But,
Like, and I was
but
like,
even
oh,
even to take it
okay.
more than just a rap, it's about image. It's about
Mm-hmm.
personality. It is star
Right, right.
power. That stuff
Mm-hmm.
you can't teach. You got to show it. Either you got it or you don't got it.
Right.
There are some
That's
of
a
these
fact.
rappers that kind of have come along that maybe were your peers. There's some new girls that
Mm-hmm.
have the lyrics, but they don't have the star power. Have you
Right.
ever have
And
you ever
it
felt
all
like
has to go together. Yeah.
she can rap way better than me, but she ain't me?
Yeah, there's some, and I'm just like, okay. And then there's some that I think they make okay stuff, but they're not a star. And I see them, and I'm just like, why are they pushing this girl? Like, I don't see it just yet. You know what I mean? So it has happened, but there are things that come along and that kind of make that full package for you. And I feel like I've always had that full package, whether it's how I speak, how I look, how I dress, how I carry myself in situations. Because that a lot of the times when I've gotten certain opportunities that had to do with battle rap, I know some girls are probably like, well, why wasn't I chose for the Netflix movie? You know what I mean? To be in 40-year-old version. Probably because of the way you carry yourself, right? I always carry myself in a different light. I'm not out here fighting. I'm not out here arguing, besides that one fight, but arguing and doing a whole bunch of bullshit. Like I'm to myself, I have the people that I rock with and stuff like that. But I really do carry myself in a different manner where it's like, well, she's gonna show up on time. She's gonna be respectable, she's gonna be dressed right, she's gonna have her hair done, she's gonna have makeup. So I don't I don't come with a lot of gimme, 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 needy. I show up and I'm there. I'm ready. You know what I mean? When you tell me, okay, we need you here at 2 o'clock, I'm there, ready, willing, walking on. You know what I'm saying? So I get a lot of my opportunities because my reputation precedes myself, not because I'm like the greatest battle rapper there ever was, although I think I'm great. You know what I mean?
You're
But
pretty great.
yeah, thank you. But you know what I mean? But it's like I get a lot of those things because of how I carry myself. And I think that's a testament to how I was raised, by my mom, my dad, my family helped bringing me up. Like, you know what? No, you got to be a young lady. Like,
There was a list that I
mm,
started at the source when I was at the
yep.
source, right?
Mm-hmm,
And I remember like the way that we do these lists, we get the fans, but then
mm-hmm,
after we get the fan vote, because they're a fan vote, we talk to industry people. You probably got my
mm-hmm,
link, like, yo, what do you think? What's your da da da?
mm-hmm.
And I remember when you made the top 20, I think,
Yep.
were you 17?
Yeah, I was
Something like that.
17. Yep. I was
17?
17.
And
Mm-hmm.
how many guys were upset that
Oh,
you
they were
made,
pissed.
but you
They
just
were
was
pissed.
cooking that year.
I know. They were so pissed. And the crazy thing was that was the year that I wasn't on Queen of the Ring, right? I had this whole, big debacle, big issue where I had a falling out with Debo, over something, my actions where, and it sucks because I didn't carry myself in the light that I like to be seen in. And, um, I wasn't there. You know what I mean? I couldn't do Queen of the Ring, so I started to hit the ground running like I knew how to do with underground battle, regular rap, right? I knew if I wanted people to see me, I had to get myself out there, and that's what I did. So I basically went every league that was going to take me, and I took a ton of battles and, you know, won a lot of them. And a lot of girls were sitting out at that time. Because one, Queen of the Ring wasn't doing a lot of events and it was the only female league. And then at that time, we were still scratching and clawing to get on these leagues, right? It was not all the time that they had a card with females on it, right? There would be maybe 10 cards that you seen come out before you would see, okay, there's a female battle on here, or 10 cards, and then it'd be like, oh, it's a female card. So we didn't have the opportunities that we have now. Now it's a lot more opportunities, a lot more leagues of booking the females
They
because
fighting
they
over
see
the
what we
girls
can
now.
do, right? That they could see what we can do. But prior to that, it wasn't that. You know what I mean? So I think it was myself, Bonnie, and I want to say 40 that were really the only girls that were outside during 2017. I might be missing one other person, but I think it was like 4 or 5 of us that was
Yeah, I
literally,
think 40 made honorable mention on that
yeah, I think
list.
it was like 4 of us that were going from, you know, place to place trying to be like, yo, they were saying female battle rap was dead at that time. and we was up there like, no, it ain't, fighting to get it right back to where it needed to be. You know what I mean? So that's another thing that was big to me. You know, being the only female that was on that list, being, you know, number 17. It was a lot of heavy hitters on that list. And it just showed that my hard work did not go unnoticed. And it gave me the motivation to keep pushing, because at that time, all that was coming up when you search my name, one of the first things that was coming up was that huge fight. And it was like, I worked too hard to have this be the first thing that comes up when you search my name. So that was another thing that pushed me that hard that year, because it was like, no, I don't like this. I don't, you know what I mean? My brand is my brand, and you search my name and this is what's coming up. Like, I was so hurt by that, but it gave me the motivation to push me to get other things out there. And, you know, now you got to specifically put that in to find it, because I've you know, I'm at so many battles right now that it's got the algorithm back right. But at that time, that was the only thing that was coming up. So that kind of pushed me as well to motivate me to get back on my grind, like to get all the extra stuff, stay the course, you know. And I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't really that popular, and my style had changed. I had to transition my style to keep growing with the time, to keep growing with the culture. And I think being that I was able to do that, that's what puts me in the light that I'm in right now. You know what I'm saying? 12 years later, it's I had to really fight.
This year you are this year, I would say last year, 2022.
2022.
2022, I would say that you were in the top 4.
For sure.
Top 4.
For sure.
It was you, Jazz, Hustle, C3.
Hustle. Yep.
A lot of people was like, oh, C3 and Shooney lost this and but they don't realize that battle rap is more than wins and losses.
Absolutely.
It's about showing up and being crazy when you show up. And it's a reason why the guys want to battle you.
Yeah, it's a competitive sport. So even to say like, yo, you lost to Fonz last year, that's a great person to lose to. But at the same time, we had the best battle that weekend. We had the best back and forth. We had the most talked about battle. We had the most competitive battle.
You lost the Fonz.
That's what you understand what I'm saying? Right. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, that's okay. Look where I am. Look, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't get the guys that were, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't do that. You understand? So even when they were like, oh yeah, you battled O'Red beat you, but it's O'Red. And for me to get in there and keep up with a heavy puncher like O'Red, you know what I mean? And to say, oh, he won 2-1, so that means he didn't body me. That means he didn't kill me. That means we had a great battle. You know what I'm saying? It was on RBE, a huge platform, you know? So it's like,
I would say if you lost,
but it can't.
When you lost, you beat yourself. You beat yourself.
That part.
Like, other people didn't really, like, I mean, and it's a show. It's a show. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's like, The Rock
sure.
lost thousands of times, and nobody's like,
for sure,
you know, John Cena lost a lot of times. I just saw an interview with him.
Right.
He was
And you
going to
can't
get
take
fired.
that from, yeah, you can't take that from them. So it's like, you say these things, but it's like you got to think about the moments. You got to think about where these battles land when you think about greatness. Even last year, having one of those battles that was mentioned for Battle of the Year with the Bardashians and Shooney, it's like, y'all can't take those things when you try to come back and be like, oh, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Okay, but let's talk about the things that I did do, right?
Let's
And
talk
those
about
things,
that battle. Let's talk
you
about
know,
that battle.
yeah,
Let's
that
talk about. I remember being in the back with Smack and Beasley and Chico, the mystery man, and
right. Yep.
and how they was going crazy. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, you two are the original girl 2-on-2s, right?
Yep.
Like original, like from the Hitman joint in the lobby.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in the picture, honey. Y'all think that I'm just a pop up? I've been watching.
Yes.
I've been in it.
No. You there. We know you there for sure. You
Then
definitely solidified.
you did when you went you and Tori and Don Lady.
Don Lady.
And
Yep.
then just how y'all first of all, y'all didn't oversaturate yourselves. Y'all preserved yourselves like Jay-Z, pop out every now and again. And people tried to actually like they ain't outside, but it was I feel like it was a strategy because when y'all did come outside, even when y'all was at home, even there, I mean, y'all was with
right. That was kind of that was the ring rust, right? We had to get that feel back. I was out, in the field, but Farrah hadn't been out in a while, and then just getting back that, all right, this what we got to do. This is the feeling, whatever. Like the material was crazy there. I think we had like one minor little slip up,
but then y'all
we
freestyle
still had to get that. Yeah, we still had to get that feeling back, and we knew we're entertainers, so we can go ahead and whatever we say this is what it is. You know what I mean? And they're gonna stand there and they're gonna love it because it's a show, and that's all the 2-on-2 is about. It's about to me, that's kind of like the all-star game. Like you're gonna come out here, you're gonna play, you're gonna show your tricks, you're gonna run up and down, you're gonna slam dunk, you're gonna do this. You gotta show the people what they're here for. They know you great. They want to see that special move from you. You know what I mean? So that's what it was about. And now that's how we went into the Bardashian battle, where it was like, what moment are we creating? What are we giving the people to remember, right? And the wig snatch was just, we sitting there, we're on the phone, and obviously, Farrah lives in New York, I live in Connecticut, so to prepare, we were on the phone, we were FaceTiming. I'm laying in the bed, and I think she was cooking something. Her hair was already short, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna snatch my wig off, and I'm gonna say, what happened last time? You know what I'm saying? I came outside with a fade." And I'm like, and mind you guys, I bet Fetty that my hair could grow longer than his. I lost the bet, but my hair grew very long. It was past my shoulders. And within like a year's time, and so my hair, I'm seeing her talking to her, my hair is down my back. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna follow up, and I'm gonna snatch my wig off too. I'm gonna have a fade. And she's like, "You lying?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna cut my hair. It's just hair. We creating this moment. If we snatch at wigs, we both snatch at wigs because that's what we would have did in real life. If you were supposed to, you were in a fight." And I'm right there. You swing, I'm swinging. Vice versa. If I swing, she swing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's basically what a
Who
battle
said wear them
is a
red
fight.
leather pants? Who said wear them red
You
leather
know what?
pants? Y'all
my
behinds was
girlfriend.
like,
Think
y'all see
massive, right?
the pictures that I took of y'all went viral.
Yes.
Everybody was like, whoa.
Massive. So my girlfriend has a clothing line, Style Over Fashion. Shout out to her. And she makes those pants, right? So she made us the black ones when we were at home in Houston. And that outfit was simple, but it was cute. Me and Farrah always dress the same, whether we're battling or not. It's like, what you wearing? I'm wearing blue jeans, white top. And I don't know if people notice that, but we always dress similar, right? um 9 times out of 10 when you see us, we have on something similar. So you know, when people seen us at home, they're like, oh, you guys are dressed alike. And I'm just like, we always dress alike, right? So they're like, okay, look at y'all looking like ghetto Power Rangers or something like that. Something somebody said. And I'm like, okay, that's cute. So the pants, the black pants got so much attention. I'm like, listen, TT, we need another pair. And she's like, oh, I'm make them in red. They hadn't even been created yet. And we're like, let's do it. And, you know, she got us the shirts, that style of a fashion shirt. So she, you know, she hooked us up, got us together for that. And then I think we did something else that she styled us for as well, but she has that clothing line. So shout out to Style of Fashion. Those pants, if you want your butt to look massive and nice and they're long for tall girls, you know what I mean? Farrah had to roll hers up a few times. You probably would too, Nick. But for
I
girls
couldn't
that are
wear them
my
pants.
stature,
My butt is like, I'm shaped like a backwards B, like black
okay,
and boom,
okay,
boom.
okay, okay.
It just wouldn't look right.
Stop
It be squeezed on my stomach more than on my butt. Like,
everybody looks good in those pants, man. And they're nice and long. So shout out to her. But yeah, so she had us looking right in them red pants. And everybody when we walked in, they just was like, oh my God, like look at them.
y'all wasn't just
But
over that.
yeah, but we always dress the same. Like when we were in Orlando for Volume Weekend, you know, she had on the black one piece, I had on the black one piece. The next day we had on the jeans and the top, the cut up jeans and the, you know what I mean? So I guess this year people started paying more attention. They're like, oh yeah. Yeah, like we, you know, we got the same baseball jackets, but that's what we grew up in, right? So and Pepper always had on, you know, similar cute outfits and stuff like that. Even the ladies' night video, they had on each had on their little style, but they all had on the white and stuff like that. So we always do that. That's just, you know, that's our thing
So
as
let's talk about this other
sisters.
2-on-2 that you did. So you did a
Yes.
2-on-2 last year with your hook.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
And my favorite part is when we had the red.
The spin, right? Oh goodness. That was
I remember
again moments. That's
moments.
what we think about. Yeah, that's what we think about when we're doing 2-on-2s. It's like, well, this is a amazing round, right? The theatrics are there. We're gonna act it out. We're gonna, you know, you can toss me something, I toss it back to you, or whatever the case may be. What are those moments that you're giving the people to really jump up, like, oh my God, like, you know, you need something to put you over the line. And while Rock and Caution were great, you know what I mean? They had really good material. I knew when they got to the end of their round, like they don't have a moment. And I knew Fetty and I had a moment, right? He actually came up with the idea when we were thinking about a bar or whatever. He's like, I got this idea. I just don't know how to, you know, how to say it yet. He's like, but I wanna pull you out, pull you back in. And I'm like, a dance move? Because I can't dance and neither can Fetty, right? I pretend like I can dance, but I am not a good dancer, right? And we always laugh about this. Our family always laughs like, Shooney, you can't dance. Fetty, you can't dance. So I'm like, you sure? You want to do a dance move? He's like, yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. We just got to execute it perfectly. And then we sat down, you know, came up with the bar. And I'm like, no, this is going to be fire. And no lie, when we came up with it, we practiced it once that night, right? When we came up with it, okay, this time I'm gonna pull you in, this time I'm gonna pull you in. And we practiced our rounds, but we never fully did the spin, right? And then the day of prom night, we went to the Airbnb that 40 had. And I'm like, okay, I'm putting on my shoes, you put on your shoes. We gotta practice the spin. And I had this big split. Um, I forgot to bring the right kind of drawers. So I'm like, this is wrong. You know what I mean? If I spin wrong, my coach can be out on this camera. And that's the last thing I need. Cause I went in Houston and my titty came out. I'm like, I don't need that. Okay. So we practiced the spin maybe 2 times at 40's house. And the first time it was like, oh, I don't know. And then the second time I was like, perfect. And when we got there, and everybody's like, y'all had to practice that a million times. No, we practiced that spin a total of 3 times, maybe 4 tops for that spin. And it came out so good.
It came out so
The
great.
cooch didn't come out nothing. I was like, this is so good. And it still goes viral. Like it
He was
to
holding you
this
for
day
dear
on
life
my
too.
Instagram. Yeah. On my cause we can't dance. But on my Instagram, people still to this like, oh my goodness. Like even people that's not in battle rap is like, no, I have to see this. Like, what is this?
That was such a
I want to see the
good
rest.
I remember
Yeah.
when we were going back and forth about how to judge the battle.
Yeah, how to judge it. Yeah.
The
How
whole
to judge it. And I
time,
feel
because I actually voted for Rockin' them. But the whole time I was like, Shooney, you know. And they was like, nah, but listen to what Rockin'. And so then when we started talking about the integration of it, they went back and forth a little better, in my opinion. Not better, more. Better is the wrong word. They did it a little more than you guys did. But when it talks about the moments and the funny, like they were, remember we were talking earlier, the lyrical miracle things. Like I was like, I was like, when we came up with it, I was like, there's no way they can leave here thinking that like it was so, it was close. Like I'm telling you, up until the last minute, that's why Ciroc, he had Rocking them the whole time. I convinced him.
Oh, did he?
To vote for
Oh, wow. That's funny.
I was like,
that's
what?
funny.
Are you kidding? And then when I said rock, he looked at me like, when I said rock and caution, he looked at me like, the fuck? Like, you literally just advocated. But it was one of those things. I kept going back and forth because I was like, is this? I knew that Radica was going for y'all, because she just was like, actually, I didn't know she was going for y'all, because it literally, we was both going back.
You know what? I didn't think she was going, but then when, like I said, when that moment, the spin, and when I did the stop, I say, she jumped up out of her seat, and I was like, okay. And that even, I had to keep myself focused, because I'm like, that's Radica. You know what I mean? Like, flip mode. This is, it wasn't that many female rappers. So now for her to be sitting here and she knowing my name, she's judging my back, you know what I'm saying? So I had to keep myself focused. Like, I just act like she's not there. But when I said the stop by saying, she jumps up. And then when we did the spin, I'm like, okay, I know she voting for us.
Yeah,
like, I know it.
About
I know
performance.
It.
And you
yeah,
guys,
it is.
perform, because she literally was just like, and I think they was like, okay, but the way that they're rapping is more like zzz.
Yeah,
right?
they absolutely went back and forth. And I think, that's one of the things that I know Farrah and I mastered and made people start doing, because when we started doing the 2-on-2, it wasn't that many people doing 2-on-2s. That's one, but people were doing it their own way, where they would you do 4 bars, I do 4 bars, you do a round, I do a round, or whatever. They weren't doing too much of the in and out. And then me and Farrah did you do every other word. I say yes, you say no. You say stop, I say go. We started, you know what I'm saying? And we started doing that. And it was because we got it from Styles and Jada, right? But nobody was doing it in battle rap. So once we started doing that, then a lot of people, then you started seeing NWX and this ones and that ones doing it and kind of integrating it. And so when Rock and Caution did it, and they did it so well, we were playing off the fact that was going with, I'm not going to battle Rock, right? I'm not on URL. I'm not even really battling that much anymore. So fuck that. This is my battle, right? So that was the theme of our thing, where he kind of took off and was like, nah, chill. You understand what I'm saying? They see me all the time. So that was the theme of what we were going in. And I'm like, if we paint it the right way, they'll get it. And then you tapping me back in and now creating the flow that they were looking for. So I think we kind of I think we crafted it really well, and I think that battle is so good.
And it's watchable. Like you can watch it over and over again, and not
for sure
pick up things. And again, like y'all got moments, and I don't like now. I mean, it is what it is. Y'all won.
Hold on one second.
And we're about to wrap up anyway. But
no, you're good. He said, did somebody say Fetty?
We did say Fetty. We did say Fetty.
We did.
The MC. Yes. But it's just very interesting just to, like, y'all have moments that people remember, right? And I think that that's the
For
key
sure.
to a
For sure.
great battle is when there's quotables. I am going to, because we've been here for an hour. I have.
But you're so easy to talk to.
You're so easy, and you're so talented. I mean, I'm trying to contain my fangirl mode, like just kind of keep it here. But I do want to give you your flowers, right?
Thank you.
I want to give you your flowers because I know how hard you work. And your work says it all. You don't have to convince nobody online. You don't have to go back and forth with girls who will never get a chance to battle you. Or guys that will never get a chance to battle you. You definitely embody an energy that I think, because I know a lot of these girls, the Salt and Peppers would be proud of. The Lauren would be proud of. The Rodriguez, like you embody that. And yes, Shooney was amazing, but Shooney the rapper on her own is a star. And I want to salute you for being a mother, being a wife.
Oh, who's cutting onions? Stop it.
No, it's true. There's always somebody saying stuff, but you always are a class act. Even when you get frustrated, I see you pushing forward to control yourself. And as a woman, when we're constantly under attack, I just think that it is important to have somebody like you in the culture. As messy as this culture is, it's important to have somebody like you in it. And especially you've been so kind to me. And so I think
thank you. Don't make me cry. Stop.
It's true. So
thank
Shooney the rapper. Shout out our hip hop and shout out your girl if you can.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Nikki, I want to thank you. Friends of the culture, friends of mine. Always happy to see you. You always have this amazing aura around you, no matter what we're doing. And you've always been super kind to me. So I'm like, I gotta get here to speak to you. All Hip Hop does an amazing job at covering all of hip hop, not just, those things that are popular to the masses, but the real hip hop. So shout out to All Hip Hop. Shout out to Nikki. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Shout out to Shooney the rapper. That's Shooney the rapper in the house.
I know.